Hello and welcome back. The last episode went off the rails a little bit. I was going on all kinds of tangents, talking about Robert Mugabe, who may or may not be alive, keeping Zimbabwe off the maps for Google Street View, making an analogy to China. I ended up calling this China, even though I was almost sure from past peeks at the map that there's no Google Street coverage in China. I even made a case for that being the case and still said China. Warnings were flashing, was running out of battery. This was Taiwan, not China. They keep sending us to Taiwan. This is the third or fourth trip. I should have done better. Let's see how we do on the next one. Did we even drop a bookmark? Let's drop the bookmark and start the next trip. Alexa, start the timer for 10 minutes. Let's take a peek at this sign right away. Overshot a little bit. Come back. Overshot by a lot. Oh, well, this is probably United States. I mentioned on previous episodes when I was ruling out United States, saying I know this is not United States because what I was saying is that the signs, road signs in the US are very wordy and very explicit. Um, Floodway, I don't know if that's a thing. It probably is, but the kind of sign that we just read, I know they're a little optimistic as to school bus turning. They're optimistic as to how much people can read from a speeding car, but the general approach to if you can say it, say it. Don't make a pictogram for it. That holds for the U.S. So this is one of them. I'm not going to guess which part of the United States can be. It's a large country, and it has some parts of it have seasons. My impression is I'm not going to share my impression because it's going to be wrong. So right now, pretty comfortable with this being the U.S., but Manganui Iron Pot 3. Wanganui. So maybe an Indian name. Plenty of those around. Wanganui Road. It can, of course, be Canada. We've only been to the US once and never to Canada. Waru Bridge. Not Anglo names by any stretch of imagination. So this could be Canada. It can even be an even farther away. Major Mitchell explored this area in 1846. The style of the signs is totally US. Never heard of Major Mitchell. And what parts of the US were still being explored in 1846. Not giving up on the possibility of Canada yet. Would love to see a familiar name on a destination sign. I don't think I can go down that road. That's too bad because there's a sign there. I'll just travel up the street a little bit, see what kind of buses, trucks, and the destination signs I see. If I don't find anything, I'll say United States because those signs totally look familiar. And if it's Canada, then, well, at least I mentioned it. Australia, does the landscape look Australian? Probably not. Does Australia have several similar signs to the United States? Probably not. Even though Australia and the US are great friends and fought in wars together, have mutual respect and rivalries in swimming. Um, my understanding is Australia gravitates culturally much more to the metropole, the home isles, Great Britain. Plus, I think they drive on the wrong side of the road. I always look at that, and I'm never 100% sure, except when I am, whether people which countries people actually drive on the left. But look at this. Is this thing oncoming? And if it is it driving on the left? Are we in a hurry going to switch our thinking to it's driving on the left? What do you know? We're not in the United States. Signs notwithstanding. We have to change our thinking in a hurry. Can it be Australia? Yes, it can. Can it be New Zealand? Yes, it can. Can it be England? No, and not with those names. People do not drive on the left in Canada. I can guarantee that, even though it's, is it a former colony? Well, heck, U.S. is a former colony. Um, Parts of the U.S. are a former colony. Okay, let's look at the sign. Meters or kilometers or miles? Kilometers. Survive this drive. 5 kilometers on left. So, boy, it's definitely not Great Britain because all the lands by all the majors have been explored by 1846. This is New World, uh, for better or worse, if I'm using this term correctly. So now we have to think it's Australia, and we've learned something about the signs in Australia, that the signs are worded just like in the States. Let's see if this Winnebago has any indicative writing on it. Why would a Winnebago have any indicative writing on it? Um, so, yeah, at this point, best guess is Australia. It's crazy how quickly that changed. First, I was convincing myself that the vegetation doesn't look very Australian, but then what do I know about Australia? I read a book and a half and certainly not an expert. Never been and hope to go one day. Almost went for New Year's a year and a half ago. Fell through because of COVID. It was swim related. Our swim team was going to train with the Australians over New Year's. Of course, you could train closer to home, but certainly that would have been a great educational and team building experience for everyone, including the parents who were willing to pony up and join. All the same, subject to flooding. Wait, no, wait. Oh yeah, it's that Winnebago fading into the distance. It's driving away from us. It's on the left. Okay. Now, what if that Winnebago changed sides to bypass us? Is that possible? I have to think about that. What is that thing? Is that thing driving on the correct side of the road? Are all my theories have to go out the window? No. We are we are passing it, if anything. It's driving away from us on the left. Okay, left side driving confirmed. No helpful signs on this truck. Nothing better than Australia at this point. Nothing better than Australia. A little too spacious for New Zealand. We were taken to New Zealand, made a, a completely wrong guess about being in Great Britain. Very disappointing, but very beautiful. People do drive on the left in New Zealand. I wasn't 100% sure. Well, this can get boring quickly, except my friend who's a YouTube expert and he's looking over my videos giving advice. He says I can simply cut out the boring parts, so the parts where I turn my head too quickly side to side, causing viewer vertigo. Stock stock droving next 150 kilometers. Stock droving. Never heard the word droving. That is not American English. That means something in some part of the world that is not the United States. Um, and literally, honestly, can it be anything other than Australia at this point? Is there any country that fits all these? Okay, AU. We're in Australia. What I was about to say when I started talking about my friend was that I had enough to cut it short to save you guys the trouble, but the alternative is to go the distance to 10 minutes and then just cut out boring pieces. Drop me a comment and let me know what I should be doing. Other than AU, what does it say? It shows wild animals. Notice to the public. Bal the Baloney State Shire Council courteously continuously campaigns feral to control feral animals. We wish basically they don't want you throwing trash, I think. That would be my guess. Too hazy to read. And oh, Brisbane maybe. Is it Brisbane? No, it's the second letter is A. All right, we're in Australia. Oh, my control is broken. We're in Australia, outside of Brisbane. Can this be Brisbane Shire Council? What is the Yeah, that must be Brisbane because what else could it be? St. George, Ballaroo. Maybe it's the Ballaroo Shire Council. Alexa, cancel timer. All right. A win's a win. Give me points for figuring out Australia before I saw the URL. And hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.